just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. You know, I mean, Jesus was a white man too, but you know, it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa.
Like Megan, most of us were taught to believe the lies that the most important historical figures were white Europeans. Well, it's time to set the record straight. Today is the final session of the real Black History in Pictures in honor of Black History Month. Let's get started on today's session. All right, so our first painting is Christ in Majesty with Symbols of the Evangelists. This is from the year 945, and this painting is found in Spain, Castilian Morelia. Now, it's obvious that Megyn Kelly would have a hard time accepting this portrayal of the Messiah as clearly Negroid, black-skinned. And when she stated that he was white, she was very emphatic. And sometimes we can be very sincere in our ignorance. Let's keep going. This is another painting. It's Caterino Veneziano. This is from 1362 to 1390. It's a triptych of the coronation of the Virgin and the crucifixion. So this is a close-up of the crucifixion onlookers. Usually with a triptych, you'll see 3 panels. So they focused on the center, I'm assuming, for this one. So this is found in the gallery in Prague, in the Czech Republic. And this is supposed to be Mary or Miriam after the crucifixion. And you can clearly see we're looking at a Negroid woman here, very much so. So yeah, again, I think Megan would have a hard time with this one. Now this one is, many of you may have seen this one, it's the Black Madonna. This one is in Switzerland, and this was created in the 1400s. Now, interestingly, this is also the same one that the Pope bows down to. This is Pope Benedict the 16th and also Pope Francis the First. They're praying to the Black Madonna in a Vatican chapel in 2013. So yeah, Black Madonna here. I guess Megan didn't get the memo. Now this one is Joseph here. Nice afro here. And this is depicting him as Pharaoh's overseer. This was painted in 1874, and this painting can be found in the Dahish Museum of Art in New York. Here we have a Bristol Psalter painting. This is depicting Peter. It says he's weeping after denying Christ 3 times. Burnt brass skin. And then this one is St. John, and this was painted in 1673. And you can't get much darker than this, you know, very dark features. Here we have a 16th century depiction of King Solomon, and this painting is found in Russia. Now, why do they have these paintings of these purely black people? They were painting them that way because they knew that's what they looked like. All right, and this is one from the Alban Psalter, and from the 12th century. This is supposed to be King David playing a musical instrument. You can see beard, dark brown skin. And this one we have the Apostle Paul. This one is found in the library of the Moscow State University. So we would have Paul here. I don't know if that would be Timothy, possibly. Let's keep going. Now this one many of you may have seen. This one is found in the British Museum in London, and it's actually telling or retelling the story in the Bible from 2 Kings 18. It's also found in Isaiah 36. But the inscription written here is talking about Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, as he's sitting on his throne. And they have just defeated several nations, and they're, looking at the booty, everything that they claimed or took after the battle, and they're having those nations that they defeated pass before him. And you can see here, the one here bowing, clearly Negroid. You can see the hair, the beard, the beady hair. But this is showing the Judean prisoners when they were taken after that battle. So these are the prisoners, and they're bowing now before him. Now you can clearly see that these are Negroid, obviously, right? So this is a wall relief, and it's from the Southwest Palace at Nineveh, which is modern-day Nineveh, Governorate in Iraq, Mesopotamia. So this is 700 to 692 BC. And again, they have this in the British Museum, so it's not like they don't know what the ancient Israelites look like. They know. Now this one is a Russian icon of King David here, and this was painted in 1720, and this painting is in Russia, Vologda region in Russian. Vologda, interesting. All right, let's keep going. So I want to shift gears on you just a bit. I want to share some information with you. This article here from the tablet entitled "Are Jews Black? Black History Month, a brief history of an often pernicious and persistent question of race." It's written by Tudor Parfit, and for those of you who don't know him, he's a historian and a university professor, and he is the one who did the documentary that was focusing on the Beta Israel in Ethiopia, now known as the Ethiopian Jews. In 1996, he organized a Y-DNA study of the Lemba males, and the study found that there was a high proportion of paternal Semitic ancestry found in these males. So he has a new book, and in this book he's explaining how Jews were often perceived as black in medieval Europe, and that it continued, throughout the period of the Enlightenment, with the discovery of a community of black Jews in Loango, West Africa, which is where the slave trade occurred. So he has also, he seems to be trying to create a link between Jews and blacks, saying that these two groups have experienced, more racist tendencies against them and anti-Semitism more so than any other group of people. So I want to share some of the excerpts from his new book with you. So let me give you some background here before I get started. So in the 18th century, scientists were measuring skulls and bones and the head angles of different racial groups because they wanted to find out what the differences were, particularly with white and black. So as they're doing this investigation, they come across these black Jews in Luongo. So they were all surprised. It's like, how could there be black Jews? So in his book, Tutor Parfait, it's called Hybrid Hate, he is quoting some of the studies that has been done over the years. So here he says, he's quoting now, in the whole of Pritchard's work, he wrote, the most striking circumstance was that of the change of the Jews to black. So they were thinking that Jews had to be white, these European scientists. And then when they discovered these black Jews, well, the idea was they must have changed somehow. Let's take a look at this. For Davis, the basic tenets of polygenism and the fixed universal immutability and permanence of races was fatally undermined by the apparently magical transformation of white Jews into black Jews. Now, I just thought this was hilarious. This was hilarious. And it goes on. Let's see what it says on the next page. So just listen to what they're saying as they're reasoning amongst themselves, trying to figure out how in the world did these white Jews turn black. So listen to these quotes. So this is from Pritchard. He's saying, it must be concluded that the process of nature in the human species is the transmutation of the characters of the Negro into those of the European, or the evolution of white varieties in black races of men. We have seen that there are causes existing which are capable of producing such an alteration, but we have no facts which induce us to suppose that the reverse of this change could in any circumstance be effected. This leads us to the inference that the primitive stock of men were Negroes, which has every appearance of truth. And then he goes on to say, and elsewhere he thundered, there are no authenticated instances either in Africa or elsewhere of the transmutation of other varieties of mankind into Negroes. You can't make this up. Okay, let's keep going. So this is the quote by Pritchard that they were referring to that caused them to scratch their heads. It says, a remarkable fact in the history of Luongo is that the country contains, according to a statement which was fully credited by Oldendorp, himself a writer of most correct judgment and of unimpeachable veracity, many Jews settled in the country who retain their religious rights and the distinct habits which keep them isolated from other nations. Though separate from the African population, they are black and resemble the other Negroes in every respect as to physical character. Now, this area in Luongo that they're referencing is where the slave trade happened. So I'll drop down. It says, clearly this was problematic. If these Jews had not interbred with the Negroes, which was a reasonable assumption, as Jews were universally known to be endogamous, which means they interbred with their own, and assuming they had once been white, how could their blackness be accounted for? This is too funny to me. Oh my God. Let's keep going. Okay, so we're back to that question. Are Jews black? Folks, I think it's obvious that the truth about who we are has been known for centuries. And I think they know that we're uncovering the truth faster than they can find a lie to debunk it. So a plan has been put in place to try to link the two groups I mentioned. So it's time to set the record straight, and we make no apologies for it. Truth is truth. Again, this is the real black history that we need to know, and we're doing our part to make that happen. So in case you missed the announcement, we will be doing the seminar series, Negro Find Out Who You Really Are. We're doing that again on March 13th. If you want to attend or know some folks who need to attend this webinar, send us an email. Also, we'll drop a link in the description, so you can send some folks the invite. All right, I have one last picture that I want to share with you. So you can see the title is very appropriate. It's called The Last Judgment, and it's showing the souls of the righteous. It says they are in the hands of God. This is found in the Annunciation Cathedral, and this was painted in the 16th century. And this should bring joy into the heart of our people to know that, yes, we were chastened for our sin, but the Father has not been far from us. It was His justice that allowed us to experience everything that we've been through, because there is a penalty for sin. But we know, based on His word, that the Gentile nations that enslaved us will be judged. It's called justice. It's justice. There's going to be a judgment. So there you have it. But I want you to understand that knowing who we are as a people is for identity only. We still need a Savior. The Father sent Messiah to seek and save that which was lost. So make sure you're not relying on an identity as an Israelite or your good works to save you. You have to receive salvation. Don't go through hell here on earth and then go there for eternity. So I hope that you understand that it's for identity. It's for us to know who we are, know our history, but you still need a Savior. So I hope that you have enjoyed our final session on the real black history in pictures. Be sure to share it. Shalom, everyone.